So we are talking Open Water 3, Cage Dive. This one's directed and written by Gerald Rascanito. Now, this movie was originally made as simply Cage Dive, and I'm assuming with the success of movies like The Shallows, 47 Meters Down, Lionsgate has kind of bought this movie up and kind of wrapped it into their kind of open water franchise. Now, when you read the premise of this, it will sound quite similar to the movie 47 Meters Down. I would say, actually, it's more along the lines of the movie The Reef. This is a found footage film, first and foremost, and what they've done is quite clever. You've got a mixture of kind of found footage, and also there's kind of like faux documentary where we have these, investigators talking about the incident and various survivors and stuff like that, and that's kind of peppered throughout the movie, and it kind of breaks up the movie in a little way, and I think it actually works kind of quite well and gives you different perspectives on stuff. Now, the plot here focuses on two brothers and one of their girlfriends, and they decide to go from Los Angeles to Australia to visit their cousin, and they're going to kind of enter this kind of competition to be on this TV show by having the most extreme video. And how they do that, they think it's going to go cage diving with great white sharks. So off they go on this boat with the intention of doing cage diving. While they're in the water, there's this massive kind of like freak wave that kind of comes up, knocks them out the cage, and kind of the boat seemingly just disappears under the waves, and they're kind of left stranded in the water. And they are surrounded by loads of man-eating sharks. Can they survive? This is a survival horror movie, so you'll have to watch it to find out. So, let's discuss Open Water 3, Cage Dive. This has been on my radar for quite some time. I've been looking forward to it. If you've watched my channel for any time, you know I'm a big fan of shark movies. How does it stack up? You know I was a huge fan of the movie 47 Meters Down. I've got to say, 2017 is the year of the shark for me, because this is another very, very well-made shark movie that is extremely intense, very, very claustrophobic, and absolutely terrifying. The shark attacks are extremely brutal, and the actual effects that they've used here, I think, seamless once again. So I was really happy with the overall film. Basically, it was very, very good. Let's get any negatives out of the way. I will say the actual action, so to speak, doesn't start until literally about the halfway mark. So half of this film is character building. I felt maybe it went a little bit too long in that direction. I would have maybe liked to see maybe the first third character building, and we have kind of 2/3 the rest of it, but maybe a bit more kind of footage of the kind of the boat, and when the actual kind of boat sinks as well would have been good, but that isn't what we've got. The only other kind of critique I will say is there was a little bit of a forced love triangle, and it does feel very kind of like forced in there, with a couple of very obviously sort of set up scenes that were filmed on accident, and it's just there to kind of create tension within the group. I felt it would have been better had that removed. It would have actually been nice to see, so, a group of friends actually who get on and don't have all this kind of like, drama that we just don't need on screen here. There was also one kind of like decision that a character makes in the film that you'll have you slapping your head. That's the negatives, I would say. Let's get back onto the good stuff. This, like 47 Meters Down, is a very, very tense film, and the scary thing with 47 Meters Down is you never really knew where the kind of the attacks were going to come from, and that's very reminiscent with this film as well, because you're kind of out in the open water. We do see these sharks kind of swimming around, but they, it goes from the day into the night, so they could come from anywhere at any time. And the movie kind of does give you, it throws you a few bones, it gives you a kind of, the element of hope. Can they survive? Is there things going to go in their favour? We do have a few kind of other sort of peripheral characters that kind of come in and out as well. And like I've said, the actual shark attacks here are very, very brutal. Very well shot, a very well made film, and once we kind of get into this kind of like the actual shark attack portion of the movie, and let me tell you, the ramping up of the tension is extremely good, and you'll find it a very, very satisfying movie, I feel. Overall, this is a very, very good shark film. We seem to have a spate of particularly good shark films at the moment. No, I'm not talking about Sharknado 5. I don't think it's quite as good as 47 Meters Down, but it's definitely an 8 out of 10 for me. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment. I know, so I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.